Chess is more than a game. It's strategy, it's intelligence, it's friendship. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my channel. The game has just begun.
Hi chess friends, I'm here to show you a really incredible game that was played by a young Chinese player, Yi, when he was only 15 years old, against the GM Lazaro Bruzon. This game is something of masterpiece. It's called the Immortal King Hunt because we will see how the opponent's king try to escape and run away and cross into all the board and finish with the beautiful, incredible checkmate. An incredible aggressive chess game. We can begin in this game where Yi plays with the white pieces, Lazaro Bruzon with the black pieces, and let's go. E4 by Yi, C5 by Lazaro Bruzon, Knight F3, E6, Knight C3, A6 to cut off the square for the knight or for the bishop, the square B5, Bishop B2 by Yi, Knight C6 for now typical development, D4, C capture for D4, Knight capture for D4, and Queen C7. We have castle by Yi and Knight F6 by Lazaro Bruzon. Bishop E3, putting another defender for this knight, and Bishop E7 by Lazaro Bruzon that prepares the castle. F4. This bishop here remain on this diagonal, so protect the king from the coming of the other bishop on c5, because if this bishop comes on c5, pin the knight and attack the knight, but here the bishop cover everything, so now you can push f4. When you have to push f4, when you want to push f4, you have to be careful. You have to cover this diagonal, or you have to move king on h1 to be safe. You have to keep in your mind. Okay, here after f4 we have d6, and the idea of f4 is to prepare f5 soon, not now, and king h1. I told you before, when you push f4 you have to do this prophylactic move to make safe your king. Castle by Yi, by Lazaro Bruzon, and Queen e2. The idea is coming on h4, Queen h4. Knight capture for d4, Bishop capture for d4, and b5 by Lazaro Bruzon. Typical way to put in pressure here on b4 and attacking this knight and to develop this bishop, and this bishop can works on this diagonal and attack the king of g2. Queen g3, putting pressure on g7, and bishop b7. The two players are finishing his development. a3, cutting off b4 and preventing the b4 pushing, and rook d8, rook e1 and rook d7, bishop d3 and queen d8, queen h3, it's so beautiful. This bishop pair of yi and this queen, and the rook can come to attack. And g6 by Lazaro Bruzon. The idea is close up this diagonal. If you don't close up this diagonal, you lose, because, for example, if you play moves like this, you lose. Okay, not for this pawn, but if you play, for example, move like this, okay, and you don't close this diagonal, you can push here, and you're threatening checkmate. You have to move this knight. So this is the reason of queen h3, is to put in pressure on h7 with the bishop on h7. So you have to close, and g6, but now it's a right moment to attack, and we push f5 to open up the position completely. We have e5 attacking the bishop, bishop e3, and now rook e8. You can see this close position of this two rook, this bishop, and this queen. A bad position for white, for black. F capture for g6, h capture for g6, and now becomes the incredible attack of yi. A fantastic idea, and a fantastic king hunt and attack from now, from this position. The first move is knight d5, sacrificing a pawn. d5 is controlled by the bishop and by the knight, so seems a bad move, because here if I capture, and you lost the pawn, and there is nothing you can do. But here we have the surprise. After knight c5, knight d5, and knight for d5, here yi doesn't capture the knight. Try to find here the best move for yi, the brilliant attack to destroy the defense, the black defense. Try to stop the video. Here yi plays rook for f7, a shocking move. You have to accept this sacrifice. You are obliged to accept this sacrifice, because if you don't do, you lose. If you try to... The problem is with the rook for f7, you are threatening queen h7 checkmate. So you can do nothing. You can really do nothing. For example, if you try move like this, if you try to attack this rook, it's checkmate with the queen. The queen defends the rook, so it's checkmate. Or move like this is always checkmate. So you have to accept the sacrifice. And now the king hunt begins. King for f7. And now we have the infiltration of the queen. Queen h7 check. You're down material, so you have to be incredibly precise. Here you can't come on f8 because follow bishop h6 checkmate. So you have to go away, and here Lazaro Bruzon plays king e6. You can't play this move. If you play this move, the rook activates with the check, so it's bad, completely bad. You can say here that you have to block with the knight, and this is a problem, a terrible position here. And you can see if you move the king, queen comes on h3, and this is checkmate. What a beauty, because king is close by his pieces. So after after the check, we have king e6, and now e for d5 captures the knight with check. Now you can capture with the bishop, but you can't, because here follows this bishop for g6, and now you have a lot of threat. You have queen f7 check, bishop f7 f5 check, so rook can come on f1, so incredible difficult. You can move the bishop here because this is checkmate with the queen, and so terrible position to defend. So you have to capture with the king, and we have king d5. The king can't continue. Now you have to prevent the escape of the king. If here you waste some time, for example, you could think to play move like this, with the idea to play queen e4. It's a nice idea. Or bishop e4. You lose the game because you are down of material. Remember, you're down of the full rook, and here black king is safe because can play king c6, and now you can do nothing. You can try with this move, but now this king is completely safe. So here you have to be really careful. You have to attack. The king has no reach. c6 square. How can you prevent this? You have to play fantastic move, and here Yi plays bishop e4 check, prevents the reaching of c6 square for the king. And now you have to capture. If you don't capture with move like this, you have only move. You can come here. If you come here, obviously this is terrible, because this is check, and you completely fall apart your position. Or you can do better. You can do this checkmate with the queen, and after the king move you can activate the rook. So this is the point. You can activate the rook on f1. So you have to accept. If you move the king here, we can see here from the computer there is queen. It's so beautiful. Queen f7 check, and you have to cover with the pawn, and now follows queen f1 checkmate. So you have to capture, and now this king is on e4 from g8. Now is on e4, and he can't reach the c6 square for the save. He's completely in a bad position in the center of the board. Queen e7 queen e7. With this move, Yi is threatening queen f3 checkmate, and you have to save. You have only move here to save, and is bishop f6, cutting off the f file for the queen, for the white queen. But here Yi continue with the attack and plays bishop d2 check with the rook. You have to move the king, and king d4, and now bishop e3 again. You could come back here after again the repetition. We have queen b3, because here after this check you could come back here, but it's so bad position because you activate the rook with check, and then this pawn fall with the check is a terrible position. Here follows check, and now this is covered by the bishop. This diagonal, you have to come here or come here, and this pawn follows with check. So you have to come after the check here, king d4. We have bishop e3 again, king e4, and queen b3. Impressive mobility of this queen. Here is threatening to checkmate on d3. King f5, the king tried to escape, and we have rook f1 check. king g4. You can't go on f6 because there is a queen on this diagonal. And now queen d3. We have bishop capture on g2 for g2. Here we want to play queen e2, and so you have to defend, and the idea is activate the queen. So queen bishop for g2, king for g2, and queen a8 check. But here king g1, and now bishop g5 and queen e2 check, king g4, bishop f2 check, and king h3. What a king hunt really. And now bishop e1, and the position is completely finished. And here in this position Lazaro Bruzon resigns again. You can do nothing because here follows rook f3 check, and you can do really nothing. You could block rook f3 check, but here you lose because there is rook capture for f8 and queen capture for f8, and this is checkmate with the queen and the bishop. So you can do nothing. You can't block this this move. And if you try to push here to block rook f3, follows queen g2 checkmate. So after bishop p1, black resign. We have in this position the king of h3, and we can see with me this beauty king hunt, fierce king hunt. Rook for f7, king f7 here, and now begins the king hunt. Cross all the square. And here resign. I love this game. Wei Yi is a talent prodigious, and this is one of his best game, a spectacular immortal game. I hope this video enjoy you. Thank you for watching my video, and I would like if you subscribe, I would really appreciate it. So I would like your subscription to my channel, and thank you very much for watching my video always. I hope that you enjoy, and see you soon. Bye.